Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As the weather gets a little cooler, what's more comforting than a warm bowl of soup? It's quick, it's easy, and it can be super healthy. And this is a big but not all supermarket soups are created equal. Some are packed with amazing nutrients, while others are basically salt and sugar bombs in disguise. So today, we're going on a deep dive into the world of store-bought soups. I've consulted with a dietitian, and we're going to uncover the best and worst options you can find on the shelves. By the end of this video, you'll be a pro at navigating the soup aisle and picking choices that truly nourish your body. Let's get started. First, let's talk about what we're looking for in a healthy soup. There are three main things to keep an eye on: sodium, ingredients, and fiber. Sodium is probably the biggest offender in canned and packaged soups. A single serving can sometimes contain more than half of your recommended daily intake. We want to aim for soups that have less than 500 milligrams of sodium per serving, and even lower is better. Next, the ingredients list. The shorter and more recognizable, the better. Look for whole foods like vegetables, beans, and whole grains at the top of the list. If you see a long list of chemical-sounding names, preservatives, and added sugars, that's a red flag. Finally, fiber. Fiber is fantastic for digestion, keeping you full and stabilizing your blood sugar. Soups with lots of beans, lentils, and vegetables will naturally be higher in fiber. A good target is at least 5 grams of fiber per serving. Okay, let's head to the virtual soup aisle and start with the best category. These are the soups that get a big thumbs up from dietitians. Topping our list are lentil soups. Lentils are nutritional powerhouses. They're loaded with plant-based protein and fiber, which makes them incredibly satisfying. Look for brands where lentils are the first or second ingredient, and the sodium is in that under 500 milligram sweet spot. A good organic lentil or split pea soup is almost always a fantastic choice. They keep you full for hours and are great for your gut health. Next up, let's talk about broth-based vegetable soups. Think minestrone or vegetable barley. These soups are typically lower in calories and fat, but packed with vitamins and minerals from all the different veggies. The key here is to check that vegetable broth or water is the first ingredient, not something like modified cornstarch. You want to see actual chunky vegetables in there: carrots, celery, tomatoes, beans, kale. The more color, the better. Barley is also a great addition because it's a whole grain that adds fiber and a satisfying chewy texture. Just be mindful of the sodium content, as even vegetable soups can be surprisingly high. Look for low sodium versions whenever they're available. Another winner in the healthy soup category is black bean soup. Similar to lentil soup, black bean soup is a fantastic source of fiber and plant-based protein. It's hearty, flavorful, and incredibly filling. When you're choosing a black bean soup, again, scan that ingredients list. You want to see black beans, vegetables, and spices. Be cautious of versions that have a lot of added sugar or are thickened with refined starches. Some brands also make spicy black bean versions, which can be great, but double check that the extra flavor doesn't come with a mountain of extra salt. A well-made black bean soup is a complete meal in a bowl. Now, what about tomato soup? This is a classic comfort food, but it can be tricky. A lot of a la carte tomato soups, especially the creamy, condensed kind, are loaded with sugar and sodium to balance the acidity of the tomatoes. Your best bet is to look for tomato soups that are more like a bisque, but made with milk or a touch of cream instead of tons of heavy cream and butter. Look for brands that highlight simple ingredients: tomatoes, vegetable broth, and herbs. An even better option is a roasted red pepper and tomato soup. The roasted peppers add a natural sweetness, reducing the need for added sugar, and they also contribute extra vitamins. So to recap our best list: lentil and split pea soups, broth-based vegetable and minestrone soups, well-made black bean soups, and carefully selected tomato or roasted red pepper soups. These are your go-to options for a quick, healthy, and satisfying meal. All right, now it is time to flip the coin and talk about the soups you should probably leave on the shelf. These are the ones that, according to our dietitian, often do more harm than good. The number one offender is creamy, cheese-based soups. Think broccoli cheddar, loaded baked potato, or New England clam chowder. While they might taste delicious, They are often calorie and saturated fat bombs. The base is typically made from heavy cream, cheese powders, and lots of butter. The sodium content is also usually through the roof. A single bowl can easily pack more than 1,000 milligrams of sodium and a significant portion of your daily saturated fat limit. These are best considered a once-in-a-while indulgence, not a regular healthy lunch. Another category to be wary of is canned pasta soups, like the classic chicken noodle or pasta eating. The problem here is twofold. First, the pasta is almost always refined white pasta, which offers very little fiber or nutritional value. It's a simple carb that can spike your blood sugar. Second, the chicken and vegetable content via l'entier, often laughably small. You get a few tiny cubes of chicken and a sprinkle of carrot bits. What you're mostly eating is salty broth and mushy pasta. If you love chicken noodle soup, you'd be much better off looking for a version with whole wheat noodles and big chunks of actual chicken and vegetables, or better yet, making your own. And that brings us to instant ramen noodle cups or packets. I know they're cheap and convenient, but nutritionally, they are one of the worst choices you can make. The noodles are typically flash fried, making them high in unhealthy fats. The flavor packet is almost entirely salt, MSG, and artificial flavorings. A single packet can contain over 1,500 milligrams of sodium, which is staggering. There is virtually no fiber, protein, or vitamins. If you're a ramen lover, a much healthier alternative is to buy plain ramen or soba noodles and make your own broth with low-sodium soy sauce, miso paste, and lots of fresh veggies, maybe adding a soft-boiled egg for protein. It takes a few extra minutes, but the nutritional upgrade is immense. So, to summarize the soups to avoid or limit: creamy, cheesy soups like broccoli cheddar, refined pasta soups like most canned chicken noodle, and instant ramen cups. These are generally high in sodium, unhealthy fats, and refined carbs, with very little nutritional benefit. So, how can you be a savvy soup shopper? It's all about reading the label. Don't be fooled by front-of-package claims like natural or home style. These are marketing terms. Turn the package over and look at the nutrition facts panel and the ingredients list. Your checklist should be sodium under 500 milligrams, at least 5 grams of fiber, and a short, recognizable ingredient list with vegetables, beans, or whole grains near the top. If a soup doesn't meet these criteria, it's probably best to look for a different option. And remember, you can always boost the nutritional value of any store-bought soup. Even a mediocre soup can be improved. Have a can of vegetable soup that's a bit low on veggies. Toss in a handful of frozen spinach or peas. Want to add more protein and fiber to a tomato soup? Rinse a can of chickpeas or white beans and stir them in. You can also add a scoop of leftover quinoa or brown rice. Topping your soup with fresh herbs, a sprinkle of nuts or seeds, or a dollop of plain Greek yogurt can also add flavor, texture, and nutrients without adding a lot of salt. There you have your complete guide to navigating the supermarket soup aisle, like a nutrition expert. It's all about being a conscious consumer and making informed choices. Healthy eating doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming, and a good bowl of soup is a perfect example of that. I hope this was helpful. What are some of your favorite healthy store-bought soups? Or do you have any hacks for making them even better? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to read them. If you enjoyed this video and want more content like this, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay healthy.